Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth on YouTube. And today I want to talk about the elephant that's in the room, especially in the black community and the urban market for the last 55 years, almost 60 years. Fatherless homes in the black community. And ever since the Welfare Act of 1964 under Lyndon Johnson, there's been a direct, systematic design to keep black male leadership, fathers, out of the home. One of the greatest times that I can remember being a man in his mid 50s was during the 60s and the 70s when the black community still had a community based family friendly environment where it was all inclusive with uncles, aunts, grandmothers, grandfathers, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. So it took a little time for the Welfare Act to really implement itself, to lead to the destruction and the delineation of the black man and the black woman. And from there, in the mid 80s, the crack epidemic hit, which tried to destroy the entire black family. And it did a pretty good job at doing that, destroying our spiritual, physical, mental, and psychological well being. But after that, what I noticed was, and I'm not blaming this individual, but with the advent of rap music and Tupac Shakur in particularly with the song Dear Mama, where he elevated his mother at a high status and he said that, or pretended, as we found out, that he didn't even know who his father was. And how he made it through a rose that grew out of the concrete as a result of his motherly love and his aunts and the women that were particularly a part of his life. He really didn't display any real male role models in much of his music, even though we found out that Matula Shakur was his stepfather and had a very positive role in his life. And then Tupac subsequently died. But remember, that Dear Mama song was in heavy rotation. And what it did was it kind of brainwashed, it seems, for a lot of black males to even go further in this particular narrative of, I don't need a dad, I don't need a father, me and my mother are going to do this alone, and we're going to conquer the world. Then you had Allen Iverson, who came out in 1996 in the NBA draft, and it was a very, very similar promotion of single mother raising a black kid in the ghetto, and he comes to this ultimate success like a rose that grew out of the concrete. He had a very similar image as Tupac. He was kind of the Tupac of basketball with his bandana and tattoos and not giving a damn kind of attitude. But what this has done, and then also in other rap songs back in those days with gangster rap, there was a heavy promotion of fatherless homes. And as an African American man, a black man in his mid 50s, I think it's very important that we see, show, and tell how important black male role models, fathers, uncles, grandfathers, are important and play a major role in young people's lives and help rearing them, and especially young black boys to becoming great young black men. Uh, we had the 1964 Welfare Act that wanted to keep the black man out of the house, and then also in the mid 80s, along with the crack epidemic, was the child support laws that were enacted, which helped also dissipate and separate the black man from the black woman, with an economic slant to it. And what it did and what it has done has elevated the black woman psychologically to thinking that she does not need a black man to be a part of the household and or to raise their children together. And it's really interesting in particularly because if he was good enough for the woman to lay down with and make a baby with, how did he become so bad not to allow him to help you raise that child? And we have to get away from this separation plight of black man versus black woman. We have an entire economic system that has been reared in racism since day one in the United States of America. And we need to go back to the 50s and 40s and 60s where black men and black women were trying to work together in a communal fashion and being there for these children. Now we have so many single black women that are raising little black boys and little black girls without any help, aid, and advice, that we have come to a point 30, 40 years later where it appears to be a rampant collusion of young black men that are out here rearing themselves, navigating through life themselves, not knowing exactly what they're doing. They're making many, many poor decisions and bad choices in life. With them not having black male role models to help rear them and to discipline them, when they finally get in their teens and preteens and teenage years, and let alone young adult years, when there is a man that is coming into their lives and expressing some kind of constructive criticism to it, these young black men have a tendency to take it the wrong way. And that's because they haven't been reared and haven't had access to other black men that look just like them. We need mentorship. We need leadership to help navigate these young black boys to becoming great men, and it needs to be from people that look like them. And this heavy promotion, you see it in the NBA, you see it in the NFL. Every young black man in the last 30 years that has gone on to the NBA or the NFL is always this heavy marketing and promotion of this single black woman that reared this child. Well, it wasn't a single black woman that helped make the child. There was a man and a woman. And there are a lot of black fathers that want to be a part of their children's lives, whether they are with the mother or not. We need to promote marriage, staying married. I have to openly tell you that I was married for 20-some years and I am divorced, but I am actively involved in my children's lives. From day one, we brought them into the world, and I think we are responsible for them. We don't go, it's not like you go buy a bag at a store, and then when you're done with the bag after 6 months that you drop the bag off in your closet or at least give it away to the Salvation Army. These are human beings that we're talking about that have your DNA, my DNA, and we are responsible for them for a lifetime. So we have to get away from all of this single mother rearing all of these black young men and young women. We got to get away from that particular scenario. As you know, most black men between the ages of 19 to 25, the number one rate of death or cause of death for these young people is homicide. For white males between 19 and 25, it's car accident or overdose. So homicide has become a health risk for young black men. We've come into a time and place where we have this self-denigration and this self-hatred for each other, and it's black men killing other black men. I don't think that would necessarily be a particular axiom if black men were in these young black boys, young men's lives when they were children and helping to rear them. It is amazing how young black athletes and young black folks can talk about how they were raised by a single mother, but you're a black man who goes on to marry a woman, have black children, and then what you find out, these black young men that were raised by a single mother, they end up perpetuating the same myth and stereotype that these that their ungrateful, no good fathers did to them. They end up having babies out of wedlock, not raising their children. And I'm talking about even the NFL and the NBA professional athletes. Um, the heavy promote, and I truly believe that the heavy marketing and promotion started with the Tupac Shakur song "Dear Mama," with Allen Iverson in his scenario. Now, are those two individuals responsible for what has taken place? No. I think the white media put them in that lens, and that's what they've been heavily promoting ever since. As you can tell statistically, just like I said, that the number one cause of death for black males between 19 and 25 is homicide. You also see statistically that very few black males are going to college. All you have to do is walk around some of these universities and colleges, like here in St. Louis, Washington University or St. Louis U. There are very few black men being educated. There are way more black women that are being educated. That's another separation gap. You have an economic gap. Black women are starting to make more money than black males. They're going to be more black women that are employed versus black men. The underemployment of black males is at an exorbitant rate today. We have a whole castigation of black males that are loose, don't have any idea about a future, about a destination point, about what it's like to be positively successful, have dreams and aspirations. We have a ton of lost souls that are walking around in America today. And that's why you see a high uptick in robberies, homicides, assaults, and now, since white America has kind of turned a blind eye to it and is part of the causative agent to this denigrating society in the urban market, black males are starting to rob white folks at universities, on Michigan Avenue, on Rodeo Drive in LA. Crime does not have a specific zip code, does not have a specific address, no different than the opioid crisis. It does not have a face, a race, a zip code. It can happen to anybody. And we're starting to see that in today's time. So while America is deciding to turn a blind eye and to try to help destroy black male leadership and young black mentorship and guidance, it is going to rear its ugly head, and nobody is going to be safe from the delineation of society's moral and ethical behavior by any race of people, but especially of black males. So they are robbing white folks, black folks, at this particular juncture and this particular time in the world today. It doesn't matter what color you are. When you're desperate and when you're hungry, you will do whatever it takes. So we need to get back, for the black community, we need to get back and reach down to reach one and teach one and preach to one, about the importance of having a good, healthy life, having great leadership, having great mentors, setting the right example, and to navigating this world into a better place, promoting relationships and communal spirit, black man, black woman, being together. The ultimate beauty about Deion Sanders at the University of Colorado is that he is showing and displaying black male leadership at its premium. Not only for black men, but for those young white guys. To go from Jackson State, Jackson, Mississippi, which is 87% black, to Boulder, Colorado, which is 99% white, and to be of a standard where he loves and cares about his children. They're all involved in what he's doing. He has a daughter that's playing basketball at the University of Colorado, 2 sons that are playing in Colorado. His other son is the head of media. He is a clear example of what a black man and his representation should be in today's time, and we need more of it. Our number one social issue and crisis in America in the black community is fatherless homes. I believe it starts right there. And after that, the domino and the deleterious effect that takes place, uneducatedness, dropping out at an early rate, not finishing high school or college, early criminal activity, getting caught up in the penal system, the degradation of black women that you see in rap music, and the things that are coming out of these young black men's mouths, not making any attempt to be dedicated and committed to a family scenario, a wife, to their children. We have way too many single black males that are having children with multiple different women and not taking responsibility for it, and don't even think there's any accountability or responsibility for what they're doing. And it all goes back to the beginning of their childhood and what is taking place in the home. We are in very troubling times in America, and more black males need to do YouTube channels, podcasting. We need to take back our community. If white America won't do it, and they set the standards to help destroy it, then we need to take it back one person at a time, take our community back, show leadership, show love, show humanity. We don't need to defund the police. We don't need to police ourselves. That is the worst thing in the world. If something happens to you on a criminal basis, the first thing you're going to do is call the police. If you have to have surgery at a hospital, the first person you're going to call is a doctor. This is basic common sense that we need to apply. And if animals, which are on the intellectual paradigm beneath humans, how do lions and chimps, apes, elephants all understand the role of the male and the role of the female species, and what their roles are when it comes to their pride? The male lion has a specific role. The female lion has a specific role when it's in relationship to raising their cubs. And it's amazing how human beings, we're supposed to be at the top of the food chain, how we have gotten away from that. We have a ton of lost souls that we need to get back. So this lexicon of life, this disconnect of black male versus black woman needs to stop. We need to come together like our grandmother and our grandfathers did, our great-grandmother and our great-grandfathers did. They stayed married forever. They had less education. They had 15 children in Mississippi and in the South. And it's amazing how they made it work for us to get to the place that we are today. We are so quick to give up than to stay and fight the good fight. We are so quick to dehumanize and to hurt each other, or to hurt a person that looks just like you versus loving that person. We're so quick to do wrong that we've lost complete sight of what it means to do right. So I think it's very important that we get these fathers back into these homes, these uncles, these grandfathers, these teachers, these black male teachers, these black male administrators, these black male doctors and lawyers, and have these professionals that are representative and are real, that are tangible, that you can touch, that these young people can get access to. We do not need to turn our backs on our own community. And we do not need to have our hand waiting for white folks to help us and to tell us and guide us into the next direction. That has never worked, as anyone that's anywhere near my age has seen. So we need to come together in a cathartic manner to love each other, to support each other, and to live life to its fullest ability, to manifest our truth in the right direction, in a positive way. So, black men, don't turn your backs on your brother and your sister and your children and your wife your girlfriend. Be there. Even if you two can't be together, still be there. Turning your back means that you are completely castigated away from your family. You and the young lady don't have to be together for you to still be a part of everyone's life. And that's what's very important. So let's stop having all this crazy denigrating music, this disrespect for black women. We need to kill this heavy promotion of single black mothers raising these athletes to become stars. LeBron James is another example. It was heavily marketed that he came from a single parent household, never heard a word about his father. Jason Tatum, same way. He even said in interviews, which I give him a lot of credit, that his father was very instrumental in him becoming the basketball player and the person that he is today. But the media doesn't market that. So the Tupac Shakurs with Dear Mama, Allen Iverson situation, the LeBron James. We need to get away from this perpetuating this myth that only single black mothers can raise these young men to become great men. Because I can name you several scenarios where we have great athletes and entertainers that came from two-parent households, like Michael Jordan, like Tiger Woods. Dr. Martin Luther King came from a two-parent household. So there's several people, and I could give you a laundry list, but I won't, where the Serena and Venus Williams had a strong black father in the home. Coco Gauff, who just won the U.S. Open in 2023, the women's side, she has strong black parents that are part of her life. So we can go back and forth with great examples of a father being in these successful people's lives, and we have examples of fathers not being in their lives. But we should not allow America to heavily promote black professional people that have garnered great success. They did it without a dad. You don't see one white entertainer or professional that they promote a single mother that has taken care of their young white male great stars and athletes. You don't see that marketed at all. So let's wake up, America, black America. Let's stay woke. Let's stay conscious. Let's manifest our truth. And let's win the game of life by coming together and maintaining as a black man to stand on your 2 feet, live your life in the right direction, and be here for these young black little boys and little girls that need all the guidance and the help to help them throughout life and to become great adult citizens in the world. Let's stop this heavy promotion of single black mothers doing absolutely everything and they can't find the black fathers. We are here. We do go to work. We do have education. And so let's make sure that we keep that standard extremely high. And we need more black males going to college. The numbers are way down. There are far too many black females that are getting an education, and the black males cannot be found. That needs to change, and that needs to change in grammar school. Leading all the way to college. I have 2 beautiful daughters that have gone to college, and you hardly see any black males in school anymore. We have to change that chasm and make this world a better place. So let's heavily promote strong black men, uncles, fathers, grandfathers. Let's continue to promote strong black women that have been doing a great job. Let's stop the denigrating rap music, the abrasive language towards black women, and let's go out and make this world a better place, one person at a time, and provide hope, HOPE, help one person every day. Thank you for listening to the Trevor Donald Experience on YouTube. Hit the like button and the notification, and please share.